ready to go to work. Let me quickly show you some stank trickery I'm doing. This box right here is way overpopulated. I had it sitting over here. So what I did is I just switched positions with them. This is 4 old brood combs that are in pretty decent shape. That box was right there. Just place that one there, so all these forage bees coming back will go in and fill that box and start working on it. They won't probably find this 8 feet, 10 feet away, so I'll populate that box with enough that I can throw a new queen in there, start another colony. I don't do it this way very often because there's just no brood or anything. There's nothing for them to build on, but I wanted to clean those frames up. And I did need to thin that box without splitting it. I didn't want to split, I just wanted to thin it down some. You gotta watch your numbers when you do that. I'll have to come back and check that first box tomorrow, because you can deplete them to a point where you've damaged them. That box has got enough bees to lose. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem. Still gotta check. Stop back through here and see what they look like now. It's been about an hour, I guess. Still didn't really hurt the numbers in that box. Right in the face, dadgummit. Not a lot of bees in there, but there's more in there than what it looks like from the top. There's enough bees in that box now to support a queen if I stuck a queen cell in there. The danger in doing that though is where I've done that before and I've swapped positions with different boxes. Just side by side boxes, and I swap positions because I got a weak one and a strong one. And then the next week I come back and they're literally, the strong one was here, now the strong one's here. They literally swap. And some of that has to do with me swapping them around. Maybe all of that has to do with me swapping them around. So just be careful if you're manipulating them in that way to play with the numbers. I could also swap frames around. Same thing, just evening out the numbers. Cut out Hive, doing good. Some of those ankle biters.
Turn right onto Henshaw Road.
As soon as I hit record. Welcome back to the 628 Dirt Rooster channel, where hobby beekeeping is a way of life. We're headed somewhere very familiar to us this morning.
Yep.
We took 3 hives out of our property last year, and they got another one in a different location this year. Probably not going to be a big colony. We got our hand sanitizers.
I'm not worried about people staying closer than 6 feet. They really don't like being around the bees.
We don't ever have people getting up in our space anyway, because it's usually, come look, and they stand way back and go, oh, I see, that's neat. And they don't want to get any closer, so we've got the 6 foot rule covered.
By 4 feet.
Okay, I was just down here the other day. This runs behind the property we're going to. Other side of the bridge is where I just pulled that swarm out of that guy's entryway.
What you doing, puppy dog?
Back for another round at this property. Had bees on the other side before. They half followed our instructions last time. They did reside this whole side. Had bees coming in here, down here, and up there before. And I told them, you got to reside it or you're going to keep getting them. So they resided it. That fixed that problem. Right here, they also had bees getting in before. I said, you got to close them holes up. Do everything you can to close it up. They didn't, so. Now, thankfully, so far, these don't seem as aggressive as the last ones we got. Last ones we got out of here was wearing us out.
Yeah, but there's 2 of them using the same hole, though.
Yeah, they were. Those 2 colonies using a common entrance. This time it's one colony. The folks who were working weren't out of bed yet, so I'm giving them a few minutes to get up and have their coffee and get rolling so we can get in there and work, because they can't sleep while we're working. This filter material that I use to block entrances is not easy to find, but almost everybody stocks it. So on this whole aisle, there it is. This is what you're looking for. Comes in single packs like that. We get it in bulk sometimes from a manufacturer, but it's, if you just need a little bit of it, and this one sheet will go a long ways on cutouts. It cuts and tears real easy. That's what I use to block entrances. The bees won't chew through it. Mice and roaches don't typically fool. Roaches can't chew through it. Mice don't fool with it. So that's what it is and where you can find it. This is something else I like to keep on hand. This great stuff does not keep bees out if they've been in a space, or if you're trying to block them in. As soon as it sets up, they'll chew right through it. The Loctite, however, a lot of times that great stuff will foam up and fall out of a spot. This stuff right here sticks on whatever you put it on. I don't think it expands quite as much as the great stuff, but 4 times more density. I don't know if that means anything. But what I like about it is if I'm using it overhead, it's not falling out. Sometimes this stuff has a hard time sticking to, especially to a dirty surface. That right there sticks to it. Also, I know somebody probably gonna bring this up, but this great stuff, Pest Block, contains no pesticides. That won't keep the bees out. It says won't harm bees. It also won't keep them out of a space that they want to get into. You can only use it for a deterrent, just like this. This is less than half the cost of that, but of the expanding foams that I've used, that's my favorite so far, because it does stick. But if you get it on you, plan on wearing it for a couple weeks. But this is it. This is the ultimate preventative to keep bees from coming back in a space. You have to pack it with something to make it where it's not good for them to live in, make it where they don't want to live in it. And insulation is the thing. You have to pack it tight though. It's not good enough to lay it up in there like new construction, because it sags and leaves gaps. And once they get it, if they get in a space that's got insulation hanging and there's that much space above the insulation, they'll build on the bottom of that floor or whatever it is, and as they grow they'll chew that insulation out. But if it's packed already and there's just no room for them to even start, that's the best way to keep them out. So that's what we're using right there.
I'm actually watching Joe.
They were out of toilet paper, so I got us a roll of insulation.
Fiberglass or cellulose?
Do what?
Fiberglass or cellulose?
Fiberglass, of course.
Cellulose is paper made. Yeah, that's helping.
Let me measure and see how much drywall we brought. I think we got enough to cover that.
Yeah, to here you do. I've seen it.
All right.
As long as I keep that 16 center out to
About 24, 30.
Well, it's 20 each where I pointed. Give me a number, what you think?
30. I'll say 30. Let's call it 30.
Even 30?
Are you square?
Not yet. It had fire. See if the plug jiggled loose.
It did.
That's what it was. Drew a smiley face on it.
Well, as you can see, if you remember from this property prior, there are 2 ceilings in here. So because of the gap, there's a gap above the drywall like that. And you can see there's acoustic, and then one bars run this way and joists run this way.
Yeah.
Go back towards the wall. Leave as much of the acoustic in there as we can. That'll
Right there's the staple for it.
Make our space for new sheetrock.
Not seeing signs of them yet. They have been into some, looks like chewed up styrofoam.
There's bee parts. And chewed up styrofoam might be an old hive.
Well, right here, we're two.
I can see it all the way back in this next space. And there ain't nothing there, so they're right there where you are.
Please tell me that wasn't a skeleton. We didn't cut no phone lines or computer lines.
Oh, that was close.
This is sticky and wet. And chewed up. I've struck bees.
I think you found them. Oh, I see a cluster and I see some white comb.
Oh yeah, it's there. I'm not seeing the comb.
You just catching insulation. You had to go up in the next space.
It's on this side, okay. No, I had to figure out.
Flip it all the way over.
Let me get this out the way.
You flip it all the way over. I can flip the video and.
Oh, okay.
I can flip it when I edit.
Okay, it's not a problem. Yeah, now I'm getting them.
You mean you can't breathe good with that thing?
No, no can. Oh, there's an old hive there.
Yeah, there was a hive there before.
I see the markings.
I saw the chunks of it fall out when you pulled the insulation down.
Well, I thought I seen something to do with bees coming out of it, but I wasn't sure. I was, you know me, I was more worried about something else falling out with it.
Yeah, there's that joist we were looking for. We almost got it.
Yep.
Not that it matters because we just screwed to this.
To that. But yeah, I can't get filming of it. I can't see where the old marks are.
Where the what is?
The old hive.
The old hive?
The hive there.
Yeah, right there.
I'm not sure it's been removed or was it robbed out?
Nah, it got chewed out. I don't think anybody's ever been in a ceiling before. Well, there's no way they have because the acoustics never been pulled out. The upstairs floor is hardwood, so you know they didn't go in through the top.
No. A lot of bees, though.
I'm gonna open us up to the big nozzle. Pull them in that way.
Pretty white comb, though.
Yeah.
They look Italian, but they're dark.
There's a lot of bees on there. I'm pulling big chunks of bees and not hitting comb for a little ways. That's how you get the queen and don't know it. You're just running through picking up half a pound of bees in a swipe. What do you mean is it on strong enough? We're using the everything vac with the upgrade. We got the supercharger sticker on it.
Powered by Dirt Rooster.
Tony built a show enough bad back. Yeah, you don't have to work it too hard. It'll pull them.
Fire me up. Yeah, it's pulling them. Now, is that Tony Stark build it?
Yeah. It's some kind of nuclear fusion powered. Don't get stuck in there. I'll have to cut that board out.
Yeah, I was trying to get it in there.
If you take that hat off, you can.
Yeah, we know I ain't doing that. The way I'm stabbing at it, they are just as calm.
Yeah, they are. Kind of let her feet and get this. That's on video. I screenshot.
Yes, I'm boss. I'm not made for making videos. I'm just on them.
How long do you think that took?
That wasn't long.
Brand spanking new, doesn't
It
it?
is new.
Yeah.
This is not the first time this has happened in this same spot. I'm not seeing capped anything. But let me hit. Wish there was a way you can keep this up here. I need a light from it.
So what does that make out of?
only brood in it with some eggs, and don't even have larvae yet. It's just really young. Got a lot of bees piling up in the corners here, and behind that block in there, we're gonna have to run some repellent in there, run them out front probably, or do the other way, spray repellent out front and run them inside. The last hive it was in here was about 3 times that size. Queen right there in the corner, vacuumed up a pile of bees, and she popped out. Let's see if I can reach her.
I got something to put her in.
You got a clip?
I got this. Did you get her?
I got her.
There you go.
Put a couple of attendants in with her to keep her company.
It's on you. They sting. She don't sting and gives up a little bit.
Go outside in the light. Oh, that one ran out.
I thought it stung in there for a second.
No. Three is good enough for now.
You've been chosen for the court. Get real close. There we go.
I'm fixing to put her on top of that conduit. Just let her camp out right there and try to draw out the rest of them. That's what the bees are having to go through to get in. Somebody's tried to foam it before, it looks like.
Yeah, there's some newer foam on the inside. I don't know if they chew that. That's a different kind of foam.
Yeah, they'll chew that. It's crumbly.
They won't chew this.
Nope. Problem they're gonna run into though is they're missing battens on the seams. The siding's rolled out in places. This is not the only place they can get in.
Ready to take her down now. Maybe
Yeah.
shove some blue stuff on
Yeah. What are you picking it up with pliers for?
Because I literally can't reach it actually. And one just tried to, oh, you little suckers. They're bumping me.
I'll get it.
Oh, I'm going to get it.
I'll get it if you're not brave enough.
That was just rude. I couldn't reach it with my hands. Now they're out and about and buzzing my face.
If we can't see it on the outside, we can pack it from the inside.
I can't see, well, other than the insulation, yeah, but I can't see where to put the blue stuff.
Probably around that board, around that,
That board in the center with all the foam.
that piece of board that's stuck up in the corner.
Take a look. You can look at it now. To the side and going in.
So here's what we figured out. Prior to this deck being here, you see where this deck used to be a landing for the upstairs apartments, and they added on 2 decks on the side. Someone came in here and removed a hive from the outside, cutting the framing. Cut the lower side and then the framing, or either pulled siding off and cut the framing, but as jacked up as this siding is, it's hard to tell. Anyway, I'll go inside and show you what I'm talking about. So that old hive that was right there appears to have been removed from the outside. Cut a gap in the framing, and then instead of repairing the framing the right way, they scabbed in this little piece of board, expanding foam around the side of it, but the bees have chewed through it. Took them a lot of years to get back in there, but it's expanding foam and they'll chew through it eventually. They just wanted that old space. That deck probably been out there for 20 years. It's probably not long since that hive was removed out of here, but 20 years later, they still smell it. I got some deck screws.
You just buy boxes of coarse thread and then make them 1 inch and 5/8 and we won't have no issues. So now we got to figure out the puzzle.
Oh, we don't need a puzzle. Just put that one for a spacer. That's all we need.
That's what you're thinking?
Yeah, put that one for a spacer, and the finish is the sheetrock. Sheetrock's back. Just gotta finish the joints, and we're done. Loaded and ready to go.
Yes, sir.
What I've got in this box is two old honey frames. Nothing on them, but they had honey on them at some point, and then one old crusty brood frame. Got a lot of mold on it, but they'll clean it up. It's got a good smell for an attractant. Just grabbed a bee and got stung. Good attractant to make it homey smelling for them. And in the bottom of the vac, I have the queen in a cage. What we did when we were done with the removal is I pulled the hose and opened the gate valve and just stuck her inside in the cage. Actually, Pete stuck her in there. Genius, Pete. I was gonna unleash her in the cage, roaming free, but Pete had the presence of mind to stop me and leave her in the cage, so I knew where she was. So I've got 3 attendants in there with her. You can see that they like her. I'm gonna leave the queen in the cage for the time being. Put her under the inner cover. There's enough space here to clear that cage. I'll have to work it in there really slowly to run these bees off the edge and not crush them when I set the inner cover down. So what you do is just lightly wiggle it as they start feeling pressure. They'll start moving off the edge, getting out from under the lid. And you can feel when they're all out, you can feel a solid wood to wood connection. You're not crushing bees. They're tougher than you'd think. You can put a little pressure on them and it doesn't hurt them. And then because this is a telescoping lid, and I can't really do that with those bees on top of this inner cover, I'm gonna put it on upside down for the day. Once they calm down a little bit, I'll flip that lid over. This was a very docile colony, almost still a swarm. They'd been in a space for about a week and a half, maybe. They'd built a good bit of comb, but they were still really calm, not very defensive at all. I didn't get stung at all removing them. Well, I take that back. Pete didn't get stung at all removing them. I got one sting when I reached up in there a little too fast one time. And then just now I got 2, one in the thumb and one in the forearm, but I was dumping them and I kind of expect it with that, which is why most of the time when I'm dumping them out of a vac, I'm wearing some kind of head protection. When I'm done emptying everything bee vac, I usually stick it in the back of my truck. It clears out pretty easy, but there's always some left. Actually, what I do most of the time is put it in my truck because I'm usually rolling and she has no idea what's going on. There's been bees flying out behind her head for 10 minutes.
I hadn't heard them. I hadn't been singing to.
That's what I usually do. Alright, we did splits this morning. Added 2 queens to that guy's hives. I completely forgot to video any of it, but I brought one of the queens back with me. And I'm going to add her to this box, the Stank Trickery box. If you remember, I moved this box over. This was just to catch foragers. This is a really full box, but it's queenless. And I know it to be a fact, so I'm just gonna stick. Yeah, they're stuck. I don't wanna get my hive tool out. She's gonna ride right there. They'll get her out. I don't want her up top like that, especially when the sun gets on this box. Look, I went to get my hive tool. I was probably gone 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I walked to my truck, got my hive tool. All these bees done found the queen. Oh, she's slipping. Dadgummit. Ooh, my eyes are watering. That's 2 stings right in the end of the nose this morning. Let's take a quick couple seconds to check in, see how this queen's doing, these old bees. Now I got these things, all these easy nukes sitting out in full sun right now, but it's in the 70s. They do not do well in full sun in the summertime, so you'll need to set them in full shade if you're going to use these things for any length of time. It's been 4 days, I think. This is all field bees from that box and a little bit of truck stop bees that I dumped in front of the box in the middle of the night. I just dumped them out right here on the top of this pallet and let them walk in before we go into them. Let's see what this box looks like now. I imagine it's probably still overpacked. Nah, not too bad. That did the trick. I need to go through it though. These girls are doing a great job with this honey and pollen. They're packing this out. Queen cage empty down there. Gotta see where she's at. She's laying already. There's eggs on the bottom of this. She was a mated queen, of course. They got all these cells polished up, and I think I can see eggs in them. It's hard to see through this veil. It's real windy today, and I don't feel like getting tagged in the face right now, so I'm a little covered up. If I hold it up in the light, I don't know if it'll show on camera, but if I hold it up in the light, I can see all these cells are polished, and it looks like some have got eggs in them. Oh, there she is. I was about to overlook her. That's as far as I'm going into that. I'm gonna add another frame before I forget. All those frames were a little dirty, and I'm gonna stick this nasty one in there too. I'm gonna knock all this high comb off of it, stick it right in the middle. That'll separate the 2 frames that she's laying in already. Make them hurry up and start working this one.